much more solemn.
Depends what shul you go to. I hate talkers.
Well, if you go to any FFB shul, people are talking the whole time.
Oh, that's a very...
It's only Baal Tshuva and converts that don't talk. And
there's something to be said for that. Yeah, that's something to be said for that.
The football, please.
Sure, it's your turn to play.
Thank you.
You can play with it now. There's something to be said for that. Okay, it's like when you're a lifer, you can always tell lifers and newbies.
Yeah.
Because the religious ones are always the newbies.
Yeah.
The lifers are like thrown into it, right?
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
They're at the Kiddush Club.
Yeah, it's like we're lifers.
They're
doing
talking the whole time.
Mm-hmm. It's like we grew up running around in this shul, and like this is how we treat
Who
shul.
does this rabbi think he is?
And it's like this is what we do.
I know more than he does.
And we're paying for him.
Exactly.
So whatever, fuck him. So that's a lifer attitude. And the BT and the Ger are like,
oh, I want to get close to Hashem.
Oh, I'm doing the davening thing here for like an hour. It's like whatever, dude. We're going to work. It's like whatever. And so there is something to be said for that, And there's another statement too that you're going to find, but this is many, many years from now.
Yeah.
That I have a thing that I say.
Mm-hmm.
If you're BT or Ger long enough, you'll become a lifer.
Yeah.
Give it like 20 years. 20 years?
Because I've been around Jewish life for more than 20 years.
Well, but you haven't been doing the frum thing.
Well, I've been around Frumkeit for 18 years. I've been getting Orthodox shuls for 18 years.
Yeah, but how long have you been taking upon yourself the mitzvahs, and how long?
That time. I'm not much more observant now than I was before I finished my Orthodox conversion.
That's scary.
In fact, in many ways, I'm less religious. Like I had this enthusiasm back then. It's like, this is great.
All right, so I'll let you get away with it, but I'm not sure if I agree with that. I have to think about that, but the concept is there. If you Baal Tshuva,
because most people don't get. I don't seem like a convert to most people. To most people, I seem like an FFB. That's kind of the way, I'm not like Hashem. And the reason is I'm FFB, but I was from Seventh Day Adventist room. So pretty much all my life, with the exception of a handful of years, I've been traditional religious. Just like for a while it was Christianity, and then it was Judaism. I mean, I've never been like real strict, but I've always like affiliated traditional religious. Yeah, and I haven't always been like the most strict. Not the most particular the mitzvah. Not like decorating the mitzvah and making it beautiful. But I've been going along.
Okay.
So much of what goes on in an Orthodox shul, what these purported religious services or prayers, is socializing. Because Orthodox Jews frequently pray at shul every day, it's much more informal than religious services at a church or a Reform temple. So what will usually often go on in an Orthodox shul where people are being Orthodox from birth is that they'll talk about who's looking to get married. They'll help someone find a job. They'll facilitate a business deal.
Oh yeah. I once heard this that weekdays is for making business for making business deals, right?
Yeah, and
Shabbos is for closing the deals.
Yeah.
We close the deal at shul on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Right? But during the week, we make the deals, we write up the thing, we close it on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's what goes on. You talk about real estate values, you talk about, this new, Pico Robertson now has a wine store, a kosher wine store.
The cask.
Yeah, so you talk about, will they make a go of it, how they're making money, the margins, profit margins on wine are very small.
What else do you talk about?
You talk about new kosher restaurants, you talk about kosher restaurants that have closed down. You help someone find a job, tell Rabbi Rabs about that shul. Talk about football.
There's always.
Work,
I got to tell you
politics.
something. There is always if you want to know the score to a game,
Yeah.
you don't go to a BT minion. You go to you go to a lifer show.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if it's Yom Kippur,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
can get the score at a lifer show.
Yeah.
Somebody knows it in there.
Yeah.
Lifers know the scores
Yeah.
to the game.
Oh, in a lifer shul for the Kiddush Club, they'll go next door so they can watch the game. So I remember this at Young Israel Century City.
Well, they go next door.
For March Madness, college
Where did they go
basketball.
next door to?
To an apartment right next to the shul.
Oh.
So that they could watch the March Madness basketball.
Oh my
college
God!
basketball.
Ugh, terrible. Can I throw this in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to you could go to a shul with 1,000 BTs, you won't get the score there.
Right.
That's not going to help you. 1,000 people know, but if you go to a lifer shul with 10 guys, somebody knows it.
So the Lakewood Rob wants to know, when you're in the industry, what do you talk about on Shabbos? And you talk about, well, let's use this girl in this movie and let's do the deal.
Okay.
And you drink a lot of alcohol, typically for a Kiddush Club? Or you drink some alcohol and...
I'm going to say that lifers drink more than BTs.
Yeah.
That's just a guess I have. I don't have any facts to base that up.
And you see, like, lifers, they're very comfortable with each other because they've been around each other from childhood. So there'll be like a group of 6 of them, and they'll be just like kibitzing and like shoving each other and, going off on each other, and they're just having a great time. And then like, the Baal Tshuvas, the converts, they're very proper, or, they're not nearly as comfortable, but the lifers, like, they're just like, they're tight.
Right. So this is my advice, and this is serious. I would advise... I would advise everybody who's watching this, if you're one of the following 3 type of people. If you're a ger, a convert, if you're a newbie, a Baal Tshuva, someone's a newcomer, a Jew, just getting going in Yiddishkeit, or if you're a lifer who's serious about Torah, stay away from a lifer shul. Stay away from it. That's not a good place for you. And go to a beginner shul, because they're going to take it seriously, and you're going to get a much more spiritual buzz by going there than you would if you went to the quickie, the busy businessman's quickie minion.
Okay, I got a great point to make. So Abe says, forget about getting the score at shul. What shul should you go to if you want to score? If you want to score, you go to a BT shul or a convert shul, because on the one hand they're very pious, and they're davening and all that. On the other hand, converts and BTs like fall much more dramatically and easily off the derrick. Like, on the one hand, like BTs and converts, they'll be dressed really froom. Like, they'll have the long skirts down to the ankles. They'll be saying B'ezrat Hashem, and they'll be picking up the lingo, and they'll be davening. On the other hand, you get them outside of shul, and like, anything can happen. Like they haven't been ingrained. Like a lifer shul, they're married by the time they're 20, 22, 24. But you go to a BT shul like Eshet Torah, or where there are a lot of converts, and they'll be like 28, 35, never been married, and you say, oh, let me walk you home. Like, one thing leads to another. Like, I scored all the time.
Scored?
Yeah. When I went to Baal Tshuva synagogues. Like, because, like, they just, boom. It's like, the dress comes off. It's like, it's a whole different, like converts and Baalei Tshuva, often they're extremists. Like, they're not stable. Stable people typically don't become either converts or Baal Tshuva. People typically become converts or Baal Tshuva because they're unstable, they're unhappy with their lives, and they think that by becoming frum, that will fix them. Of which, of course, it doesn't. So they're unstable, they're unreliable.
And you would know.
And I would know because they look at me. And so, yeah. So, word to the wise.
Hey, the Lakewood Rob just said something intelligent for once. He said God kept setting you up with Jewish single women to marry, and here you are alone and single. So what happened?
it was never my choice with any of the halfway decent ones. It was always they saw through me real quick and said, "This guy's trouble."